up, Twitch? Looking like a hype train right out of the gate. Look at that. It's a beautiful thing. Share the show out, everybody. It's going to be high and tight tonight because I got Geeks and Nerds for Harris right after the show over at Linda Carter's page. That's right. I'm going to go hang out with Wonder Woman right after the show. I'll talk to you about it more in a minute, but hit that like. Get everybody in here right away. Goodness, it's my birthday already in Australia. What? It means I was probably born on the 27th for you guys. Let's get started. Let me check one thing. Oh, yes. I think that worked. I think so.
You are watching Housebox Mega Worldwide, and we're glad you're along for the ride. Every day hell is here by your side. So please, would you like and subscribe?
That's all I'm asking. Yes. Welcome to the show, everybody. It's Housebox Mega Worldwide, as the lady just said. Hit that like, share the show, etc., etc., etc. My birthday is tomorrow, so there's only one thing I really want. And by the way, I appreciate the gifts and the support and the Patreon and all that stuff as well. I'm not saying no to it. But what I am saying is if you want to really get me something I'm really going to like, here's what I would like. I would like you to vote as early as possible. So if you want to give me a gift, I just want you to, whenever voting becomes, when the day starts, when early voting starts, wherever you are, if you're an American citizen with the right to vote, I feel like I need to clarify, the perfect gift for me would be for you to vote on that day. And that would prove your fidelity, your love, not only for me as a person, which I'm sure you have, but also for the greatest live stream in the history of the interwebs. It's Housebox Megaworldwide, and you're here, and I think it's wonderful, and it's very smart of you to get in here early and be what is effectively digital front row Joes, I guess. because even outside it's packed. I think we have proof of that someplace. Yeah. Do I even have that? I used to have that somewhere? I feel like that was one of the regular, like
Action replays in magnified fortune.
I feel like I had that someplace, and I don't know where it went. Even outside, it's packed. I know we have it somewhere.
Heard that Saudi Arabia and Russia will repeat your.
By the way, that is indeed the noise he made right before he kicked Laura Loomer off of the. Oh, Louise, come on. That's lovely. Happy early birthday wishes. Mom has a checkup tomorrow. Make sure she's still cancer free. Well, my thoughts and my love are with you and your mom tomorrow, Louise. I hope it's all good. And if it isn't, it will be. You know what I'm saying? You know what I mean? If she didn't get the all clear now, she'll get the all clear very soon. I'm just saying. It's got to be, and we want it to be that way, and we will it into existence, my brother. Much love to you guys. All right, now, I've got to jump off the show right at 5 o'clock. Excuse me, right at 5 o'clock. Because, also, can I just say that Laura Loomer video, somebody just said she's losing her shit. That's a video from a while back where she was, like, kicked off of, I want to say kicked off Twitter and shit, and she was freaking out. Like, that's not even new. Like, I'm sure there's a new video of her freaking out, but we ain't seen nothing yet. Unless they've got her, like, in the basement of Mar-a-Lago, which is entirely possible. Like, they kept her off the plane, but they're like, I'll put you up in a little apartment. Just shut the fuck up. So, that's it. Like I said, I got to stop right at 5 o'clock because I got to jump over, and we all got to jump over in one fell swoop over to the Geeks and Nerds for Harris thing. We'll post the link. I posted it on my my shitter feed and on my threads, and we will jump straight over there right as soon as I'm done. And then I'm on near the end of the second hour. It'll be me and Fugelsang. I think Fugelsang could be there. Frangela, Greg Proops, and a couple others, and Linda Carter herself doing an I Love the 70s, but with the 1870s and the Comstock Act. Because that's when Trump says, make America great again, that's the period he thinks it was most great. The only thing bad about the 1870s, the only part he didn't like was that, they didn't get a redo of the Civil War. That'd probably be it. Maybe. And also, I promised today to keep the fart sounds to a minimum. I really do feel like yesterday we peaked the meter. We went over quota. I don't want to get shut down by the internet gods because we have too many, and we have so many other sounds that we could be playing.
I know words. I have the best words.
You know what I mean?
Anonymous, really anonymous.
Sure. So, couple of things right out of the gate. Let's jump to this one, if I may. And by the way, hello chat room. Look at you guys. More farts. Look at that. We've got to vote for more farts, and we cannot rely on farts to get us through. It's not how we work. Johnny Million, of course it was you. Of course it was Johnny Million saying that. Why? My goodness, young man. I just called to say you. I just called to say I care, I do. That's for Johnny Million. See, Johnny Million can even derail a show he's not on. God bless him. Okay, yes. So, Linda Carter's webpage right after. We'll meet you guys there. And if I have time at the end of the show, I will embarrass myself by telling you my deep, dark, 8-year-old Linda Carter secret. I was 8 years old. She wasn't. It's because she's older. Never mind. That's the important part. But I got probably the biggest trouble I got in as a kid involved Linda Carter. I'm just saying, just for the record. And I'm going to save it to the end of the show. So keep me honest and hit that like, and maybe I'll get around to it if I damn well please. All right, here we go. Now, what's the big news? Of course, the polling. How is the polling affecting the race? Is the polling even true? Can we trust it? And can we rely entirely on any of the polling in particular, especially because Harris seems to be pulling ahead in a bunch of these areas, and suddenly the same people who are saying the polls have Trump running away with it, you guys probably should just stand down, all of a sudden they're like, hang on a second, the polls are just a snapshot. They're starting to sound like we sounded 4 weeks ago, you know, or 8 weeks ago, or maybe 12, but still. So, but who can you always rely on? Ladies and gentlemen, you can always, you can always rely on, sorry, the polling, it's the wrong kind of polling. Where is this guy? Hold on. This is the, oh, I see. It changed the device. Primary. There we go. Thank God. That got weird for a second. Yes, this polls very well. Hold on. This polls very well. It's good. Now, this is a dude from Rasmussen, and then this is a dude filling in for Steve Bannon, and I guess he's like, the only way I can look as terrible as Steve Bannon does is with really shit uplighting. That seems to be the I don't know, Phil Collins from Mama video lighting. Is that what he's going for? Anyways, there we go. So, anyways, this dude I think is from Rasmussen, or is Rasmussen himself. I don't know, and I don't really care. But the title of this video, Rasmussen. So that's why I assume that he's either from them or he is them. The GOP's not listening to America First voters, costing them votes nationally. Oh dear. do tell. So what you're saying is the rhinos have run away with the party and they are shitting on. Oh, that's sad.
Mark, good morning to you. And tell me,
Hello.
it seems to me that the fix is in. Mike, no Johnson, the testicleless.
Oh, look at that. Mike, no Johnson is what they're calling him now. Now, I don't know if when Steve Bannon was taken off to jail, if they seized some of his equipment, and this guy's just using his fucking phone because it sounds like crap. But, you know, that's not on my end.
Wonder who passes himself off as Speaker of the House of Representatives has sold MAGA short yet again.
Yes, yet again, he has sold MAGA short by not letting them shut down the election, or shut down the government within 50 days of an election.
Tell me, how is this playing in the battleground state?
I don't know, but first tell me how big tech is the problem while you're wearing Apple iPod earbuds. Well, like you got the AirPods in. Tell me how big tech is the problem while you're on Peter Thiel's video streaming site, Rumble, wearing Apple devices in your ear. How do you know they're not doing binaural beats, changing your thoughts? How do you know you're not being hypnotized by all the gay people who are allowed to work at Apple? I don't know.
States. Apparently, there's going to be a continuing resolution, a CR, that will last up until December. That is to say, to push the debate, funding this bloated federal government until after the election.
Bloated. Look, this guy's bringing his A arguments. I don't want you to go, but aren't you just saying kind of run-of-the-mill, raggedy Republican shit from 1992? Sure. Hasn't the world changed? Isn't the economics of the U.S. economy a lot more, technologically and advanced and more complicated? Sure. But is that important? No.
Tell me something, Mark. Firstly, how is this playing in the battleground states? But specifically, according to your polling expertise, what point is there for Republican voters in actually voting Republican in November?
Yeah, great question. What point is there? I mean, really? If you're going to do it, I don't know. What? What? What's the even point? Why would you even bother? Want to go back to my place? Yeah, sure.
The uni party is going to kick in.
Yeah, it's the deep state. I mean, again, great argument. I don't even know why you're even bothering to vote if you're a Republican, according to this fella, who Steve Bannon was like, here's the perfect guy to fill in for me while I'm in prison. This guy's choice, and he makes a great point. Don't bother voting. It doesn't matter. Great. This is, now I don't know, is this technically part of their get out the vote campaign, or is it just a you know, it's it's the icing on the cake. You know, these are the sprinkles.
At every opportunity.
And by the way, I some people are asking, is that a soul patch or a taint? You know, taint a mustache, taint a beard. Honestly, it just looks like he missed. There's no form to it at all. It looks like he was wearing a Hitler mustache and it slipped, and he caught it with the razor and it just stuck. It's hard to know. Might just be nose hair that stuck to some shaving cream.
This is the second time now. The so-called speaker is going to be dependent on.
By the way, he's not the so-called speaker. He is the actual speaker. He actually has the job. He was actually voted on. He's not. They're not. The so-called speaker would be somebody who doesn't have the job, but is kind of backseat running the speakership, like Trump. Trump, in this case, would be the so-called speaker because he believes, like, he dictates what the House Republicans will do or won't do in the case of, say, the border bill. But in this case, they're like, I would rather keep my job, you dumbass, and so they passed a CR.
Democrat votes.
Not that they didn't try, by the way. They tried passing it with the SAVE Act twice.
To push through his agenda. What is the point of voting Republican in November? And how is this playing in the battleground states?
Yes, what is the point of voting? Please tell me why not to vote.
That's such a tough question to answer, but I think I would say, like, what other choice do Republican voters have?
That's inspiring. Yeah. Nothing, need is always better than enthusiasm.
Seriously, we just did another set of.
That was a joke. I didn't really experience it as a joke or even as a non sequitur, or a curiously like a mildly humorous mini anecdote.
Of states, I have all the data. We're processing them as fast as possible. We have 3 of them back.
Yes, you are processing them as fast as possible on your computer from 2002. Oh my God, that's wonderful, and it's terrific. Look at that; it's got a DVD rewritable drive in the top. Fantastic. Thank you. Welcome to the cutting edge of Rasmussen. Wait, is that a landline I see? My God, man. Whoever you back will lead us into the future, no doubt. All of this paid for with crypto, not crypto. What's the word? Gold. That's what it is. Gold futures, not really gold. Digitally owned gold. Gold you don't actually own, but you own on paper, which isn't gold, but is basically what's not money, but also backed by gold. But unless it gets stolen, I'll think about it later. Anyways, you were saying.
Georgia is one of those states. It's going to Trump by 3 points, which I think is really good news, and I have reason to believe.
Within the margin of error, really? They have a Republican governor, dum-dum.
Personally, that Trump will probably outperform what our polling says.
Why? Does your polling suck? Oh, you're saying this because he's going to outperform what your polling says because your polling data actually points that he's falling behind, and as we get closer to the election, it's going to continue in that way because of the Kamalamentum, as it were.
I think in Georgia, the generic ballot was +5 for Republicans. So that's the thing.
Wait. Hang the fuck up. Wait. He's fucking with me. Ladies and gentlemen. Chat, did you guys perhaps notice at all the little sidestep there that on a generic ballot, Republican versus Democrat, Georgia is up 5 points for a generic Republican, while Donald Trump is up 3, making him traditionally what you would call a drag on the ticket. I mean, so basically what he's saying is that any other Republican that was running at all would be running ahead in Georgia outside the margin of error, but Donald Trump is well within the margin. This is fucking glorious. Thanks, dum-dum. Shit, this is okay.
Republicans do not like their Republican elected leaders. They give Mitch McConnell horribly, horribly bad results. And everybody says that the Republican Party is the party of Donald Trump and MAGA. And on every single issue,
and yet
they want strong action, and they always seem like they get burned. We've been polling about government shutdowns all the way going back a year ago. And back then, 56% of all voters preferred a partial government shutdown until
bullshit.
Spending could be reduced. Only 34% wanted to avoid it. And it was like 70.
First of all, there is no fucking way that 56% of voters in any reality anywhere want a government shutdown until spending can be reduced. Absolute horseshit. Like, if all you're doing is explaining to us all that your methodology is ass and cannot be trusted. There is no fucking way. Just nonsense. 56% want government shutdown until spending can be reduced. Well, then how come every time we've had a government shutdown and the attempt was to force cuts in the budget, in doing so, it has polled like shit everywhere afterwards, and the party that did it loses in the election? But you know what? Fuck me. Who am I to even, why would you, this is Trump's favorite pollster. Are you starting to understand why he thinks his ideas are good ones when they ain't? Okay.
3 to 22 for Republicans. Yeah.
Mark, repeat this, because the GOP establishment is hard line on this idea, on the narrative that a shutdown before the election is going to be suicidal for the party that causes the shutdown. Now, it's only ever the Republicans that cause that cause a shutdown.
Right, because Democrats do their cuts without holding the economy hostage. And Republicans only force the shutdown when their party isn't in power so that they can hamstring the programs of the Democrats. Or I suppose also Bernie Sanders and others.
And as far as I'm aware, that's not actually borne out in actual election results.
Yes, it actually fucking has. Or do you want to go back and, what are that? What don't we look? How about we roll back and look at 22, you fucking arsehole? Where all this bullshit about who the speaker's going to be and who's going to be in charge and shutting it fucking down actually took your red wave and made it a bloody nose, Couple of dribbles of red and put you right on the fucking edge. Here's a good idea. I'm going to float this. Maybe you can think about it, process it, put it in the, in the rewritable DVD player, in the 3.5 hard floppy drive behind you on your Windows 97 computer. Maybe factor this in, Factor this in. Maybe if you got nearly a 50-50 in the House and the Senate, how about nobody acts like they've got a fucking mandate? How about that? How about neither of you can fucking just boss everyone around because neither of you have to have a mandate and you got to fucking work together, eh? Think about it. Oh, I like it.
But in terms of the polling, it would seem to suggest that your Rasmussen polling here doesn't even corroborate this argument, right? Taxpayers want to spend less. They don't. American taxpayers want to spend less. They don't want to keep funding this bloated, incompetent government, the federal bureaucracy. And yet, when it comes down to the wire,
marriage is what brings us together today. Skip to the end. Man and wife. Say man and wife. Man and wife.
American voters, sort of Republican Party members specifically, are being betrayed by their elected representation.
Oh, they are? Well, that's terrible. They're being betrayed by their representatives. Huh. And by their elected representatives, the ones that they actually voted into office. I see. And what about the ones that they voted on that lost? Where they got, are those people betraying them as well? I don't know.
In the Congress and in the Senate, because these two groups will bend over backwards to keep it going.
I think it's more of a bend over forwards kind of a thing is what you're insinuating. Just, I mean, it's an important clarification, I think.
River.
You know what I mean?
Man, I'm tired of being...
Thank you, Doc. You ever serve time? You using the whole fist, Doc?
See what I mean? Bend over forward instead of bend over backwards. Bend over backwards hurts, but never mind.
But repeat that figure, if you wouldn't mind, Mark. That doesn't seem the idea that a shutdown before the election would be suicide, and that. Yeah.
Push this. I recommend it. Thanks, War Room. Thanks everybody over there. Yeah, good idea. Push and especially now that it's too late. Push for this. You should have had a sacrifice Mike Johnson on the pyre of bullshit, and just make the case that he should have shut it down and it would have been fine. Because what could be better? What is there a better way to have your cake and cake fart it too? I don't know.
Mike, no Johnson has the big pressure to stop that from happening. Your polling here suggests that this isn't the case. This is a narrative that they have invented themselves.
Maybe not.
Themselves to keep the regime going.
I would
regime. Adorable.
Go even farther and say it isn't just about spending; it's about literally everything, and it's not.
All right. Well, that uncomplicates things. It's about literally everything. That's why you need brilliant people like me, because I can keep it all in my head at the same time. Obviously, I hope the throbbing stops soon, but
not just about Republicans, it's about independents too. They want action on literally everything. So this...
Do they? Maybe that's why they're independents and can't make up their fucking minds. Because you do realize you can't. That's why parties have priorities, assholes. That's why a party will go, hey, while we're going to focus on this, because if we just try to move everything forward, nothing gets done. What a concept. All right.
This budget shutdown one we did, it showed that 70...
Yeah, keep 70% of independents that you poll, because the majority of them are Trump Republicans who just don't like the Republican Party, so they consider themselves independent maggots.
3% to 22%. Republicans wanted the shutdown to lower spending, but
88 to 22% of Republicans. Okay.
Independents, it was also 56 to 30.
Independence was 56 to 30, which, by the way, is exactly the number that he said for voters across the spectrum, I guess.
And then new numbers that aren't even out yet show that 63% of all voters support shutting down the government to try and pass new laws requiring proof of citizenship.
No. If they had 60 some odd % of voters supported the SAVE Act, it would have passed, you dumb motherfucker. No. And you can't even implement it between the election's already started, shithead. Like, you can't. Stop it. You're not going to demand two forms of identification, and add new rules federally to the election this close to the election. Like, it's not going to happen. Even if you fucking passed it, it's not going to happen. But 6% of voters aren't for this, you dickhead.
Including a stunning 61% of independents. And I'll go even one more out of our swing state.
Wait, 61%? How many Democrats were for it then? If it went up from 61% and Republicans are 88-22 over it, what was the fucking Democrat number? 58? Get the fuck out of here. Who are you talking to? You know what? I don't normally make predictions like this, but I'm going to call bullshit on everything going on at Rasmussen these days. I'm just anecdotally, this sounds like steaming piles of bullshit to me. This sounds like nonsense. This sounds like mathematically impossible gibberish, I gotta say.
Polling out of, this is Pennsylvania numbers I'm reading, but we have it for Georgia also. If given a choice between two candidates, one of whom favored granting amnesty to all illegal aliens, or one whom favored deporting all illegal aliens, deportation wins in Pennsylvania 50% to 33%.
Jesus Christ. So, of our two artificial choices, 50 to 33 wins in the thing that'll never fucking happen. How about this? How about one person who wants to deport all of them versus someone who wants to deport everyone except, deport criminals or people without familial ties or non-DACA people who've been here before, or, which is about 30% of the people there. Like, who would do that? Like 100%. Like 100%. Versus just everybody, blanket, man, woman, child, doesn't matter, everybody, versus a measured, intelligent, decent approach, maybe.
With Republicans, it's 80%. 4 out of
really less than the other vote. How's that work out?
5 Republicans want every illegal alien deported.
Gee, that might explain how Trump decided this issue was so important and why he jumps all over it. Real quick, how many Republicans versus actual Democrats, baseline number, are there in these states? Anybody? Anybody want to guess which group is actually larger and that 88% of Republicans is actually the same size as 60% of Democrats, for example? 1-to-1, human to human, per capita.
And it's a plurality of independents. So this is a
plurality
thing. And I'll tell you, I don't think, quite frankly, what I think now is that if you're a Republican in Congress, the odds are that the light at the end of the tunnel probably looks the brightest right now than it's ever looked. Because in my
You mean the oncoming train?
opinion, they never really wanted to take action. And you know how I know that? Let me ask you a question, Ben.
No, you're the answer guy. He's the one with the stupid questions. He obviously doesn't have any answers. He's a blatherer. That's how he got the job.
Try and think back to the last 3 years at any.
We don't have to think back to the last 3 years. You can think back on them. You'd have to think back to a moment in the never mind.
Any one single instance of any thought work, any polling that came out about messaging or the topics that was funded by a Republican think tank. I don't think you're going to be able to remember any because they're not doing it.
You mean the entirety of Project 2025, which is what blew it up and made it publicly, their public awareness campaign is what dogged Trump and made him have to disavow it because it was supposed to be something that humped by under the table, but they were trying to float this system as a way of like getting voters who had left Trump back on board. Like, hey, don't worry about it. We know he's a fuckhead, but we're going to give him an instruction manual, and he's agreed to it. That's what Project 2025 was, and that's why they were selling it, why they were lifting it up. And it shit the bed. It's terrible. Most voters, even Republicans, don't like it, including Republicans, not most Republicans, because I don't want to make the same mistake this fuckhead is making.
Listen, if they wanted to fight on things like abortion, I have the numbers. The country says that it's pro-choice 53% to 37%, but only 15% of voters want abortion after 6 months. It's only 27%, 1 in 4 voters after 3 months. And even Joe Biden's sycophantic.
Oh, no. Oh, no, my dear boy. Thank you very much. Someone's, I got a happy birthday post on Patreon. Thank you very much. That's very sweet. And, there we go. And, someone attached an image and sent me an image. I don't know what that is. Oh, I see. Oh, look at that. What the heck? Excellent. And thank you. I don't see the Venmo yet, but I will look, and hopefully it will come up in the next couple seconds. Thank you already, ahead of time.
Followers, less than half of them want abortion after 3 months. So,
hey, asshole, what do you think the exception for life of the mother is? When do you think the majority of those happen? It's a trick question. The answer is fuck you. It's in reality, it's in the third trimester. Sometimes they're in the second trimester, and that's what he means. By the majority of people expect you can. In the third trimester, you're over the legal limit. That's the rule. That had been the rule for a long time under Roe. That was the rule. Fuck you. And if you're going to save the life of the mother, more than likely it's going to happen with ectopic pregnancies and other stuff in the third trimester. That's what they're talking about. Yeah. 7th, 8th, and 9th month. That's when the majority of them are going to happen. And by the way, nobody wants them. Not even, hey, guess what, fuckhead? Even the moms that have them don't want them. Do you understand that? Do you get that? Can you get that through your fucking head? They don't want it. They have to have it or they'll die. They would rather have a healthy child. They would rather bring the child they were planning on bringing into the world, that they've already painted the room for and bought fucking furniture for and gone through, picking out names, all that shit. They would rather that. No woman after 6 months gets a fucking abortion because she's just flipping like, nah, I'm sick of it.
So
Mark,
they are not using.
Let's do this again. We've got to go through these numbers because it seems to me that you're an expert here, a leading American expert on.
I gotta say, from how his math is playing out today, I wouldn't use the word expert, and I certainly wouldn't use leading. At this point, his behavior is such that I'm hesitate to even call him American.
On psephology, right? You know how this breaks down. I want to underline.
Psst, it already has.
This for the Warren Posse. What you are being told by your Republican establishment is an absolute lie on every single metric. Let's go through this.
Yes, thank you very much. The message from Steve Bannon's War Room is Republicans are liars. They do nothing but lie to you. But vote for them because communism or something.
Because if I may quickly once more, 54% then want to see, would rather see a shutdown than more spending, right? On the federal budget.
56% apparently across the board. Excuse me, not 54. Don't shave off those extra fictional 2% that he made up.
3% would rather see, if I've understood you correctly, would rather see a shutdown unless the SAVE Act is passed, that is to say, to prohibit non-Americans from voting in elections.
No, non-Americans cannot vote in American elections already. All the SAVE Act does is not in this election, but the following election, force people to bring in a proof of citizenship, which your birth certificate would qualify as. And if you bring your birth certificate in to get your driver's license, which will be in, if you have to get the real ID, if you haven't gotten it already, and you will next year, that will already satisfy that aspect of it. The same thing is true of a real ID that's not a driver's license, that's a state ID going forward. We'll have that citizenship added to it. It's already happening. This is the SAVE Act is a puff piece to get Republicans to vote. Because here's the thing. Republicans don't want to vote. They think it was stolen last time. Why the fuck would they think it's not going to be stolen this time? They think illegals are voting, all this shit that Donald Trump told them, and nothing's changed. So why the fuck should they expect that it would be different this time? So why get up off the fucking couch, Harry? Get your fat ass off the couch and go vote if it's just going to be thrown away anyways, right? And so they have a real hard time with that. So they're trying to pass shit like the SAVE Act to bullshit that voter into thinking things are different this time. They won't steal it. Go vote. You're just going to lose fair and square.
This seems to me to be exactly where MAGA is, right? Exactly. This is something that Steve Bannon has said repeatedly.
Not only MAGA
is the voice. MAGA is the voice of the nation here. However,
MAGA is the voice of the nation. I'm shocked that it took him 7 minutes to get to saying something so incredibly stupid.
47% of Democrats, even 47% of Democrats, at least somewhat support shutting down the
at least somewhat
government to pass laws requiring proof of citizen to register to vote.
Wait. Sorry. Kind of for it doesn't involve shutting down the fucking government. And listen to how he words this. Fucking glorious.
Even 47% of Democrats at least somewhat support.
At least somewhat. Yeah, that sounds like MAGA is the voice of America. At least somewhat support. Uh-huh.
Shutting down the government to pass laws requiring proof of citizen to register to vote. It's not MAGA. It's literally voters just want accountability and action. All of them on everything? No, but almost every MAGA topic, it's 80% of Republicans and 50 to 60% of independents. In this case, it's even almost half of Democrats. So it's like they literally want action, and time again, Republicans lose the high ground on.
Now, okay, well, let's dive into that. Hold on. We know this is bullshit, but let's back up, kids. Let's stop right where you are. Back up. Let's take them at their word. Let's go, look, most people want to shut down the government. The majority of people in the country want to shut down the government to force people to have to show proof of citizenship to vote. The majority of people want it, but Republicans, time and time again, don't do it. The leadership all move around. In the same way that the leadership of all these right-wing states that Trump lost wouldn't give him his 11,780 votes that he was looking for. They're all against him. They fight him at every turn. Now, there's two reasons why this could be a possibility. One is they think that they know he lost, and they've gone through all this stuff, and they just can't go any further without violating the law. So in the case of Kemp or one of these other people, like, look, we did the recounts, we did the court cases, we've looked at all the stuff, but these are real votes, just like the last election. There's parity in all these things, and this is the same fucking voters. You just lost this time, asshole. And not even by a ton, but you lost by enough, and that's what happened here. Or, and I'm going to float this out there for Asmussen over here, or they know that Donald Trump and his ilk were engaged in a vote-buying scheme hoping that if they lost and got caught, they could just say the Biden administration is the one who bought all these votes, because you can't tie the bought votes to whoever bought them. You can only look at the sheer numbers. And the assumption will be that if there's a major scandal of purchased votes and you can't find out who cast them, then you'll assume that the person who won did them, because seldom does a loser buy votes and then come up short, is the theory. So they felt safe to do it. Oddly enough, they did it largely in Texas and Florida, in theory, because there was polling around Biden that said, oh shit, Trump might lose Texas. And so they had to spend money guaranteeing he didn't, buying votes. Now, this is a theoretical, so work with me on this. And so one of the reasons why these Republican AGs and these Republican secretaries of state and these Republican governors don't want to look into this is not because they're lying to MAGA and trying to, force the uniparty's Democratic pick on their people. It's because if they go, okay, yeah, come on in and look, you'll find out that Donald Trump bought votes and he's the actual criminal in there, and it'll implicate them as well in the scheme. So rather than go down themselves, they're just like, you know what, he lost, fuck him. He should have bought 1 million more votes. In a couple of key states, he would have lost he would have lost the popular vote by 7 million votes, but he would have won the electoral college everywhere else. In these swing states by a few, if he'd have just bought a few more votes in these states. And now he's out of power, so he can't even cover for his vote buying scheme. So he can just, right now, all he can do is bitch. That's the other side of this possibility. Maybe, just maybe, the MAGA leaders aren't lying to you about, they tell you they're going to cut the budget or tell you they're going to shut the government down, and they don't. It's because if they do, it'll open themselves and their enablers up to legal problems. I'm just floating that as a possibility.
Every messaging argument, they do it on abortion, they do it on spending, they do it on election integrity. They were the
Also, real quick, Mark Mitchell from Rasmussen, you're the lead pollster there, according to the Chiron. Real quick, if you're saying that they go against what the public wants every single time, there's a possibility that they do. There's a possibility they see, this is very popular with voters, and it might cost me my job, but it's the right thing to do, even if I lose my job. Or, and hear me on this, maybe, just maybe, your numbers are fucked. Maybe that's the possibility. Maybe it's not that the Republicans are part of some sort of giant uniparty conspiracy with the Democrats they constantly call Marxists and communists and fascists and whatever. And they're not really, it's not this, Sam the dog versus Wile E. Coyote bullshit thing where they hang out after work and they fight like cats and dogs or dogs and foxes, I guess, coyotes, during the day. And then as soon as they punch out their buddies and it's all glad handing and stuff like that. Could be that. Or it could be that they look at real numbers and yours are bullshit. And they're like, yeah, I know your numbers say that, but that's nowhere close to fucking true. And when in the past, when we followed your numbers, we've gotten kicked out of office. I'm just presenting an alternative.
First to jump aboard and say, yeah, elections are safe and secure. Guess what? We tested it again, and still more than 60% of voters think that the outcome of this election will be affected by cheating, and it's roughly half of Democrats.
That's because they think Republicans are going to cheat. Because they think there's going to be a second run at Jan 6, or that there'll be AGs that are planning on undermining the will of the voter. Democrats don't think that Harris is going to cheat her way into office, you dumb son of a bitch. And that means that basically you've got 30% of voters on either side thinking that which again might be a plurality of voters, think the other side's going to cheat. That is not it is not the same kind of cheating. That doesn't mean Democrats are like, it's going to be stolen from us, so we're not going to vote. They think we're going to vote and they're going to steal our vote. Republicans believe that they're not going to vote because it's already being stolen by illegals. Like, this is not the same argument.
So, I mean, like, everybody grades Congress poorly, and I think only now has it really been exposed.
Yeah, but they don't judge their local congressperson poorly, which should tell you something. Congress sucks. I mean, my guy rules, but everybody else is ass. Well, really? So your friends and your relatives that live in other states, when you go over there and they say the same thing about their representative and say the same shit about yours, whatever.
That it's not this.
You should wear the Don't Panic t-shirt for Geeks and Nerds for Harris. It's a great idea. I am wearing a Surf Nicaragua Real Genius shirt. So, am I too subtle? All right.
Theater where they're just constantly locked in this policy battle. They just don't want to upset the status quo. Neither party.
Well, first of all, the Democrats are in charge, so why would they want to upset the quote-unquote status quo? Also, it's not the status quo. We don't have a status quo right now. We are recovering from a pandemic. There is no ballast right now. There's no automatic fucking cleanup.
Mark, I'd come back on you and say that you're 45% there of Democrats. These people are, America First is a movement that isn't solely within the Republican Party. It embraces.
I do like it. Hey, asshole. Democrats aren't fucking lining up with your goddamn America First, hashtag TM America First, Nazi Party bullshit from 1930. We're actual patriots.
I think right across the American electorate, and there are a lot of people who support the America First agenda that don't formally identify themselves with MAGA. That's the point I think that I would like to make explicitly here.
Right, and anybody who doesn't formally identify themselves as MAGA is not voting for Donald Trump.
A lot of people who support this agenda, even though they don't consciously identify as MAGA, they don't.
Yeah, do it in my sleep, yeah. I've often found myself in the middle of the night supporting the agenda, yeah.
Necessarily think that they would support Donald Trump because they have an incorrect image of what he actually stands for. But the actual.
Oh, really? Really? He doesn't stand for grabbing women by the pussy and he just starts kissing without permission, and he's not an adjudicated rapist who's been found guilty on 34 charges of fraud. No. So they think he stands for fraud. Oh, by the way, maybe, well, I don't even know, maybe I had this in here. Perhaps he stands for this. Perhaps that's why he likes Matt Gaetz so much. Perhaps that's why Laura Loomer blew him on Trump Force 1. Perhaps.
Policies that he is pushing, I think, have a massive traction with the American public. And your figures here seem.
No, they don't.
To suggest that. Would you mind, please, Mark, just repeat these statistics once again?
Oh, for fuck's sake. No, his numbers sucked in the beginning and they're going to suck again. What the shit? Why in the world? I don't have time for this. I really don't. Yeah, these fuckers go on and on. Now, there's someone we haven't heard from in a very long time. Chat room, welcome. It's House Parks Megaworldwide, the greatest live stream that exists. That's right, Destiny. I'm calling you out. That's right. It's Sitch and Adam and Sitch. You're not even close, boys. The entire network of RSBN, RAV, and Newsmax, I officially teabag you with my live stream. And I'm not even on 24/7 the way you guys are, selling gold at midnight till 6 in the morning. No. This is House Parks Mega Worldwide, the greatest live stream in the history of live streams, and you better get it right. And by the way, I've broadened out my my appeal.
Turn up the radio, let the sparks ignite. House Sparks lead the charge day and night. An oasis for truth in a world gone wild, wild. It's the Hal Sparks radio program, Mega Worldwide.
See what I mean? Like, I'm not afraid to cross many different barriers. All right, that was too much. Sorry. Hold on.
You are watching Hal Sparks, Mega Worldwide.
Yes, you are. So, anyways, what is it? Somebody went, yes, greatest live stream ever. Absolutely. Did somebody say, yeah, why are you threatened by destiny? I'm not threatened by destiny. This is what you would call, I guess joking is a little too much because you aren't actually crafted jokes, and I'm a bit of a purist about that. I think in common parlance, this would be referred to as fooling around. Yeah? Playing around. Get it? Yeah? Now, if people are overly sensitive about that, I can't help it. But that's partly, maybe they're just not ready for the greatest live stream ever. And that's possible, you know what I mean? And believe me, just give up your slot because there's plenty of people waiting outside to get in. The internet is currently full. Hold on one second, I'm getting a call. One second. Hello? Yeah, sorry. This is who? Amazon Web Services? Yes? I don't use your service. Oh, I'm sorry, what? My show's eating up too much bandwidth on the internet and you're having to shut down entire server farms of the cloud? Well, I hope you're picking and choosing and not just, I don't think it's kind of rude to shut down like mom and pop businesses and even your own site or whatever. I would suggest first kill all the fake Russian sites. Yeah, that's good. I know people get mad, but they're not real people, they're bots. So cool, thanks. No, this is not an AI. This is the real Hal Sparks. Oh, you're an AI. That's very sweet. Let me know when you become sentient, and I'll put you in a silicone body. Okay, bye. So thanks very much. I don't know that they don't call me on the hamburger phone. I don't know why. Hold on one second. Hello? Yes. No, I already talked to them. Thank you. We have not heard from our next guest in a while. No, it's not Tim Fool. No, we've had far too much of him lately. It's this lady. This would be Silk. Diamond is deed. She got the current unpleasantness and left us. But Silk still calls the show Diamond and Silk, which I guess okay. And she's got a little picture of her on the table when she does the show, and she kept all the same things. I mean, if your name is Silk, it's a little hard because it's without the other pairing, it seems seems a little awkward because there might actually be you might be competing with a lot of silk manufacturers and that kind of stuff. Anyways, so this goes to, in case you don't know. In the case of Kamala, some of her events, instead of making people stand outside in the sun for long periods of time, they set up shuttles from parking garages so that people don't have to die from heat stroke or keel over like they do at Trump campaign and rally events. So there has been this theory online that she's bussing people in, and Trump has been using this, and this is what she's referring to. See these people right here? There's people who are getting a shuttle. Yeah. Because Harris treats her rally goers like human beings.
Now I understand that when Kamala goes to do her event.
All right, so Silk has some breaking news music underneath it. That is not something I added. Just letting you know.
Do y'all realize she's bussing in these
Well, I guess so you're saying she's for busing. I think we learned that in the 2020 campaign, 2019 anyways.
Visuals. She's bussing them in. They're being bussed into her.
Well, it's shuttles. I mean, is a shuttle a bus? Is a bus a shuttle? It is a deep question.
Event. You got a whole big old parking lot out there empty. but they're busing in these people. Who the hell are these people, and why they don't have no vehicle? Why not a one of them have a vehicle to come to her event? Are these her illegal aliens that they already done bust into?
Yes, the overweight white guy who looks like you're kind of standard hippie liberal. Yeah, that guy, yeah, clearly an illegal. Yeah, huge line of illegals, and they dressed him up in khakis and painted them all white. And I guess they painted a few of them black just for fun, I suppose. Sort of a minstrel edition to them, and then they let some sneaky maggot film them and leak it onto the internet because apparently they were under the impression that they weren't doing anything wrong.
To this country, now they're busting to her.
You should probably show the same video again. You should probably take the video you just showed us and show it on a loop a couple more times.
Events just so she can have an audience? Huh? Are these people illegal aliens? Who are they? And why don't they have a vehicle? And where's their meeting spot?
Well, there's a lot of questions there. I mean, all we're seeing is the line. It maybe don't react to a chunk of video that you don't know where it's from, because this could entirely be from a Trump gathering for all you know.
Where are their meeting spot at? Huh?
Where are their meeting spot at? You got me.
Yeah. Is it at a manufacturing company where they got all of the illegals in a whole little town and they just go there and scoop them up? It's just like
manufacturing. Is Harris manufacturing? Jesus Christ. Have they figured out cloning and they are making illegals? Wait a minute. This is a deep question. Thank you, Silk. Would a clone of an illegal immigrant be illegal too? Or are they a natural-born American citizen? Dun, dun, dun!
Her traveling audience that just travel.
Your music ran out. Someone should hit play again.
From place to place to
1 second. I'll take care of it.
place on a bus. Huh?
No, that won't work. Hold on. Let me try it. How about this?
Why don't none of them have cars?
No, that won't work either. I gotta, How about, we're gonna do sample grid, something, yeah. How about this? There we go.
And there's a big old empty parking lot where they're lined it up at when they get off the bus.
Nope.
Why isn't anybody investigating that?
Why isn't anybody investigating that? Maybe because they're walking across the parking lot. All right.
Why isn't the fake news, the left-wing media, why aren't you talking about that? Why aren't you talking about the fact that Kamala Harris and Tampon Timmy, they have to bust in their audience?
Because they don't have to bust them in. Probably. I don't think so. Yes.
That means that this is staged. Are these people?
Or it's a shuttle bus from the parking lot, because that's the overflow to the event space, because they filled the parking lot at the actual place. Shit.
People being paid to do that?
We don't know.
Because from my understanding, that's illegal. You know.
It's not illegal to give somebody a ride. No.
You're supposed to pay for somebody to vote for you and support you during an election like that. You're not.
Well, they're not going to vote. They're just going to a rally. And there's not a lot of parking near that place in the valley. All right.
Not supposed to do that. Y'all know that? That's law.
That's right. That's against the law to bus people to the voting booth, even though that's not what's happening at all. Oh, yes.
Federal law. Yes.
Federal law. Federal law. Federal law. Federal law. It's against federal law to give somebody a ride from a parking lot to be her audience, which should be against the law. They should have to walk in the sunshine like the maggots. All right.
Events,
all right.
So that it can look good, I guess. Okay.
So it can look good, but it looks bad if you don't know what you had.
Yeah.
Oh, yes.
Okay. I guess that's what you wanted to do. To look good on camera. All right. So they busted in these people.
They're busting in these people instead of making them wait in the sun. They're busting in these people so the ambulance doesn't have to pick up anyone. Ah, yes. Motherfuckers, yes.
All right. Did y'all know that? Are you aware of that?
Are you aware of that? I don't know. I don't quite know what the fuck you are talking about. Oh, yes. Oh, yes.
And I just want to know if these are the same illegal aliens that
I want to know.
they're busted in. They got them put in all of these different places. All
They got them everywhere, so why would you have to bust them? Couldn't they just walk right over from next door? There's illegals everywhere, so do they all hang out in the parking lots? Oh, yes.
over these different states.
Every state, but oh, where?
They have a meeting spot to meet at, and then
They got a meeting spot to meet at.
they all just get on the bus because this is their job for them.
Yes, they're professional bus riders. Professional bus riders. They get a paycheck just for riding the bus. What the fuck is that?
Being here, this is their payback for them even
It's
being
a payback.
here. Is that
Payback
what's
for
going
being
on
here. Free money and a bus ride. What the fuck is going on? Free money and a bus ride. What the fuck is going on? Free money and a bus ride. What the fuck? And the taxpayer is paying for this. What kind of shit? What kind of shit is this?
Why don't none of these people have
Why don't none of these people, which since it's a double negative, would be most of these people?
a vehicle?
Why don't they have the car? Why do they need the bus? Probably because they're illegal and you can't get a driver's license. Or maybe they just park there.
I'm just asking. Why they don't have a vehicle?
Why they do? What the fuck is a bus if it's not a vehicle?
Nobody have a car to get to her event.
Why she got these broke ass motherfuckers going down to her place, showing up for the race? Oh yes. I don't know.
Just ask.
I'm just asking the questions no one else thinks need to be asked, like a dumb ass.
Cause with President Donald J. Trump, when he put out where he gonna be, you got people waiting there 2-3 days before him.
Yes, they wait in the sun like they don't have anyone, like a bunch of dumbasses. Maybe they shouldn't have to. Maybe that should be a thought that crosses your mind. Yes.
Alright, they done parked their car and sitting there waiting in line.
Yeah, they got nothing better to do than stand in line for 3 days, waiting for Donald Trump to show up to say the same shit and make them throw up from heat stroke.
The whole park.
What? What? What?
Lot full of cars is all down the road. Miles.
That's right.
Down the road. Cars.
I was down the road.
Cars.
Down the road with cars.
But now she got a bus in her audience.
There's the picture of the buses again. I'm getting fucking annoyed. All right, look. Sorry, I can only do that for so long before if I keep going, I will not be able to stop. Borderline, that's where we are. We were getting this close. Now, in case you're just joining us and you're like, what the fuck is going on? Welcome to the greatest live stream in the history of live streams. Does anybody else do this in the live stream? Nope. Can they? Nope. Would they? Nope. Should they? Yeah. Can they? Nope. So, yeah, that's what makes this show extra special. Hi there. Hit that like, subscribe, will you? For Christ's sake. I worked this hard and I got these little dicky numbers on these sites. It's pathetic. It's pathetic. Look, I know. I haven't been around as long as the sites that have, you know, millions, but they've been here for 10 years, some of them. I get it. But I'm just saying. I'm this, look, I know this looks effortless and like I'm just having a good time, and I am, and it kind of is, but that doesn't mean it's not work, god damn it. Okay. So here we go. Yeah. What? Tom Hartman would never do this? I agree. He comes close, though. You give him, if he could just play, if Tom Hartman learned to play the banjo, he'd kick my ass. Okay.
She got to bust in her viewers. Huh? She got to bust in the people that is acting
The shuttles. This is a shuttle bus.
like they support her. What is the exchange?
What is the exchange? Well, I mean, you should be able to go interview him. Just show up at one of her events, hang outside the bus and go, what are you getting paid to be here? You know. And they'll go, the shuttle was free. And you go, what shuttle? And you go, the bus that I was just on, there was too much, the parking lot was full. So they set up a shuttle from the other parking lot and they told us which one it was so we didn't have to stand in line for, you know, days in the heat like a bunch of assholes.
Is what I want to know. What's the exchange? Huh?
I guess Harris doesn't want them to die of heat stroke. Maybe that's it.
I'm just asking a question.
Are you, though? Are you just asking a question?
That's all I'm doing, y'all. I'm just asking a question. Hopefully,
I don't know. It seemed like there were a lot of statements in there.
somebody give me an answer.
Well, believe me, I hope you watch this video. I really do. I mean, you don't have to watch the whole thing. Obviously, maybe somebody could just clip this and send it to you. The answer is you're an asshole. That's the answer. These are shuttle buses because they have overflow parking and they're not making everybody walk, which Trump would do because he's a cheap son of a bitch. I think that's the answer. I mean, I prefer my big, entertaining, silly answer, but the direct one is that. That's exactly what's going on.
Hopefully, the fake news media, they will take and do their investigation. The investigative.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I agree. They will, not you. Don't bother.
Journalists would do their investigation and try to figure this out.
Well, I don't know that they can even compete with your the quality of your broadcast, your vertical filming, the excellent choice of typeface, the graphics, and of course the looping video up in the corner. I mean, eat your heart out, CNN.
Since when do you have to bust in your audience just
when you fill the first parking lot around the venue? I mean, this might shock you, but Disneyland and Disney World have shuttles about that size and a monorail even, that bring their patrons from other places because the parking lot fills up and then the overflow.
To have an audience for your event. Huh? Then they say,
thank you. Someone hit the loop again.
Somebody said, this is her invited guest. Are these the same invited guests that they invited over here to invade our country?
Yeah. These are you can tell by looking at them. These are all people who climbed the border wall, which is shit, obviously. What? Hal, I just figured Elon will buy Truth Sinkhole. Well, if he does, it'll certainly be cheaper than Twitter. And what's he going to do? Fold the same users in? I mean, it's a dumb business move, so I wouldn't be shocked if he did it.
I'm just asking a question.
Yeah, I would like, you're just asking questions. Well, I'm glad to just answer them for you. And again, can I show you the guy with see that guy right there, Silk? See that guy? That guy did not arrive in a caravan from South America, certainly not from an insane asylum. And he looks a little too well fed to have climbed over the wall or dug a tunnel under it. Or I guess overpowered. He just isn't, when I look at him, I don't think there's a border got away. You know what I'm saying?
Invited guests. Are these the same invited guests that they
Yeah, it's the same people.
invited over here to invade our country?
Yes, we were being invaded by white retirees from the neighborhood.
I'm just asking a question. That's all I'm doing, y'all.
That's all. This would be the diamond, and I guess this little ribbon around it would be the silk part. I don't know what the purple shade around it is. It looks like a car. Diamond and silk. If I was her, I would just give her. It should be silk and diamond, and this point, I guess, in retrospect, give yourself top billing since she's not with us anymore. I mean, I appreciate, maybe it's like when a band has the original members, one of them croaks and that was their name, like what happens to Guns N' Roses if Axl Rose passes, right? A kidney stone in the middle of a show, no one would notice. Okay, that's not the point. Okay, yes, that was, I agree, that was truly depressing. And I think the chat room agrees with me on that. Let's see. I don't know why every time I go to the comms thing, it just freezes. It doesn't want to see. It just clicks to it. Now, let's see. Transition override. No transition override. Okay. Why would that? Yeah. Yeah. Nope. No reason why. I guess it just didn't like it from the chat to the comms. There we go. Now it's working. I don't know what the hell. Maybe if it waits too long, it doesn't load up the transfer. It's getting weird. All right. Next up, ladies and gentlemen, outrageous what the MSM does to Trump, and they're doing it again. What? They're making Trump say incendiary bullshit. They're pointing out what he said that's stupid. How dare they? Like, subscribe, give a thumbs up, support the show. It's Al Sparks, Mega Worldwide.
Pennsylvania to dead heat.
Oh, also, by the way, this is also a podcast for those of you that don't know that and like to listen to an audio version of it. The Al Sparks podcast, Mega Worldwide, is now made from elements of the show. And I should probably point out that if you're listening to it right now and you're hearing my voice and another voice, I will do my best to explain who you're hearing before these things. This is from Real America's Voice. This is actually a guest host filling in for Steve Bannon while he's in jail. His name is David Bossie, and he's quite the filly. No. And up on the wall behind him, there's a sign that is always behind Steve Bannon, except when he's in prison, that says, "There are no conspiracies, but there are no coincidences. Stephen K. Bannon." That's fucking dumb. Of course there are conspiracies and there are coincidences. That's the problem with most conspiracies, is they rely on you forgetting that there are coincidences. And that's the problem with a lot of coincidences, is that superstitious people believe that there's a conspiracy around it. I'm getting ads on my phone because I talked about this yesterday because my phone is listening to me while it's off. And it was on the charger, but blah, blah. You see what I mean? Okay. Now, never mind the fact that you bought a similar thing or you were shopping for it 2 days ago and so it shows up, because the linkages are what they get because they trace you through social media that way. They didn't hear you talk about it. It's because you also were scrolling about it. Fuck me. All right. Anyway, so here we go. Outrageous what the MSN does to Trump. The mainstream media.
Every poll has either Trump up or a tie. Trump is...
No, they do not. They do not have Trump, either Trump up or a tie. There's a lot of polls that show Harris up, and significantly outside the margin of error now. So just saying. Just as a general idea, especially when there's a lot of information out there and some of it's conflicting, and there's 8 billion people on the planet, you gotta be very careful when you're using phrases like every and ever and never and nobody, right? Those kind of things, always a problem. Those are always, when I use them, they're always done with a little asterisk, like nobody's sane, or nobody anyone's ever spoken to in their life, or, everybody that matters to this conversation, right? Not everybody. You see what I'm saying? All right.
Is going to win Pennsylvania if we do our jobs. I'm just going to fly through and we'll go back to the
Sorry, is your job throwing the election his way?
States, but I'm in Arizona, another battleground state. Trump has never been behind. Trump is leading in every single poll.
Yeah, that was the same thing that happened when he lost Arizona the last time too.
And even in the New York Times, which is no friend of anybody that listens to this show, they have him up 5. He has never been behind. He is going to be able to win Arizona.
Right. Arizona is one of those states that was particularly wrong in 2022 as well around the red wave. They were using Arizona because it's a swing state to try and make that point and failed miserably. Don't believe me? Ask Kerry Lake.
Georgia, Trump has never been down ever in the state, and he's up anywhere from 3 to 5.
Yeah, he was around that last time too, and it's about turnout and actual get out the vote. He lost last time. That was the same window. And now people, again, he's a known entity. It's why he lost the last election. It's why he's going to lose this one.
Wisconsin, it's a dead heat. And one thing that you know about Wisconsin, the New York Times, which did battleground polls in every state, didn't release one in Wisconsin. It's very interesting to me. How would they just choose that to not do one? Why? Because
they have to pay for all of them, and they were focusing on some of the other ones, and they can't do all of them at once all the time without paying for them because they actually cost money, and then they have to vet them. And Wisconsin wasn't the focus of some of the stories that were coming out. So if they were going to compare them to stories that were happening in the news, they would also... Never mind. You were saying something about it's probably a conspiracy.
The numbers aren't good for Kamala Harris in my book. And let's just not
Sorry, the New York Times is in your book? Interesting.
Forget. In 2020, the Washington Post, the corrupt, media-biased Washington Post, put out a poll within a week of the election that said Joe Biden was up 17 points. What did that do? It suppressed Donald Trump's vote.
Why? Why? So you're trying to tell us that Donald Trump's voters are so fucking stupid that they don't know what an outlier poll is, and that they wouldn't show up unless it's a sure thing, unless he's winning, because they don't give a fuck about him or the ideas of the party or the premise of the party platform or anything, just that he's going to lose, so I'll just stay home. Is that your point? So maggots are lazy is your sales point. Gotcha. Okay.
That was election interference by a media entity without question.
Well, I mean, it was obviously, I would question it. So again, when you're talking in absolutes, you're always going to run into something. And I would just like to say that I question your conclusion, and the answer I come to is that you're a fucking moron and this is silly. Just for the record, and in case you're saying without question, I'm just saying bullshit.
Biden, with the help of Zuckerberg and the Zuckbucks, didn't win.
You know what? It really wouldn't be a Real America's Voice show unless somebody threw in a Jews and money blood libel curse. You know?
Win by 17. He won by 20,000 votes, 1 point. It's outrageous what they do.
Outrageous!
It's outrageous.
Yeah, he's still going to win Harris is still going to win by 1 point, or probably a little more.
It's what the mainstream media does, and what they did to Donald Trump in 2020, they're doing it again right now.
Really? Is there a Wisconsin? So you're saying because the the Washington Post didn't put out a poll in Wisconsin, it's the same as them putting out an outlier poll saying that Harris is up by 17. Same thing. Them focusing on another state is the same as a completely lopsided poll. Okay.
Now, in Nevada, it's a dead heat. I think what Donald Trump has done with the economic message, the no tax on tips, he is going to win back that state. And
no, he isn't. No. Just saying, it's not going to happen. He's got no get out the vote here. He's got no driver point for it. He's going to get a lot of the red counties with barely any people in them. But like Vegas and Reno and the places with actually like population centers are going to go for Harris. Just saying. I mean, the state will look red from the fucking sky because territory does not become, does not vote. Human beings do.
And it is going to be in the win column for Donald Trump. North Carolina, it's a dead heat. Trump is up.
North Carolina is a dead heat. Should it be a dead heat if you're Trump? And should any of the Carolinas, should any southern state be in play, dum-dum?
And is absolutely going to win North Carolina.
Sorry, somebody. We have a troll, and we appreciate them here. What the heck? You lies about the Russian gate? Okay. Yes, I am real American. Worried about okay. You lie about the Hunter laptop, and you back wars Trump 2024. Okay. First of all, Biden got us out of Afghanistan. Trump ran on it and didn't. Failed. And it was his plan to exit that cost American lives. He released 5,000 Taliban fighters, and they're the ones who let the ISIS-K fighter into the airport that blew up the bomb and killed 13 of our service people and injured 45 of them and killed a couple of hundred Afghans. There is no Hunter Biden laptop. Show me a picture of it anywhere. And the Russian gate. I assume you mean Russia Gate, or that's your attempt at going Russia. He hired Paul Manafort, who worked for the Russians and the Yanukovych regime in Ukraine, and then he hired him back. And that guy Paul Manafort hired guys off of Craigslist to rape his disabled wife. But hey, it's your dude. And Trump, Epstein, Diddy. Hey, look, I'm glad the maggots show up. I'm glad the trolls show up here because the fact that they write things in the chat, when they don't use the N-word and I have to broom them for bigoted language, it actually helps. It helps with the algorithm because not only does it say you're watching, but that I'm engaging, and you're absolutely right. Yes, meanwhile, Slava Ukraine.
I don't think that one is as tricky as all the media pundits are going to make it out.
Well, how about it's as North Carolina is as tricky as some of them are going to make it out. How about that?
Michigan is literally a dead heat and shouldn't be. It's within the margin of error. They basically Harris up 3.
Notice how when Trump's up 3, he's winning, but when Harris is up 3, it's within the margin of error. Adorable.
The hardest to win, but is absolutely doable.
Yeah, absolutely. You can really count on the Ted Nugent vote.
Donald Trump is in better shape today in Michigan than he was in 2016 and in 2020. And he just barely didn't pull it off. So we have...
yeah, he's going to lose by basically the same margin this time.
An opportunity in Michigan.
Except for the fact that he's taken a lot of the money that should go to the Get Out the Vote campaign in the state and spent it on his own golf courses and his own legal fees.
We have an opportunity in Virginia. Virginia is even within the margin of error. It has him down 4 points in Virginia. So we're...
Did you hear that one? So she's up by 3 in Michigan. That's within the margin of error. Trump is down by 4 in Virginia. That's within... Listen to this.
We have an opportunity in Michigan. We have an opportunity in Virginia. Virginia is even within the margin of error. It has him down 4 points in...
The margin of error is 3.5. It's 3.5. That is half a point outside the margin of error. And again, slicing it off is one thing. Like, a win is a win is a win. She's ahead, stupid. I love how, I mean, it's pretty spectacular. Again, she's up by 3 in Michigan. That means it's within the margin of error and it's winnable. He's down by 4 in Virginia. It's within the margin of error and it's winnable, right? And by the way, that just means he's gonna win. Notice how they're like, if we work hard, he says if we do our job in Pennsylvania, he's gonna win Pennsylvania. Well, there is no job to be done, motherfucker. You're not gonna be able to disenfranchise a bunch of voters.
Virginia. So Donald Trump, the point of this message is Donald Trump is on offense.
No, he is not. If he's down 4 in Virginia and down 3 in Michigan and underwater in North Carolina, he's not on the offense.
Kamala Harris is on defense.
Okay, I guess that's where it stops. It just stops there. Oh, hold on, cancel that.
All the spaces with Donald Trump.
Hold on. This is that I don't know, that seemingly is some sort of random follow-up video. It's always obvious. Now, there is, let's see. There's a little bit of now I'm starting to worry about the Elon Musk fan club because I guess they're starting to turn on him. And you know, I mean, obviously, look. It's Jimmy Dore's show, and the title of this is Elon Musk Caves to Brazilian Censors. Now, if we know anything about Jimmy Dore, he never turns on anybody. You know what I mean? He's a ride or die kind of a dude. You know what I mean? He will support somebody. He doesn't have. They don't have to be perfect, right? He never lets the perfect be the enemy of the good. I'm fucking with you. He actually dumps everybody as soon as they're not a purist, and he doesn't qualify as a purist, but somehow he gives himself a break. He doesn't give anyone else. It's adorable. But apparently, Elon Musk fucked up and has caved as he swore he wouldn't. Well, I got news for you. Jimmy's like this close to being a flat earther, if he isn't already. I guarantee he and Kurt Metzger have sat around and watched at least one flat earth documentary while smoking weed and have decided it's more than plausible and and that they're convinced that there's something there. I guarantee it. And they might deny it, but yeah, I'm pretty damn sure. That said, if that is true, if indeed the earth is flat, then Elon Musk is in on it and is helping NASA and the deep state / Illuminati lie to us all and keep us trapped under the firmament. Just saying. So I don't know why this would be a shock that he's doing business with a foreign country.
Hey, come see us on tour. Because told you he was all about free speech and he was going to stand up, and he has in certain places he stood up to.
Hold on. So Elon Musk has told you he's for free speech.
Australia, he won that. We find out that he, like in Turkey, he's censored for them when they asked him. And he stood up recently, very briefly, he stood up to Brazil. Brazil wanted him to censor more, and he said no. So they shut down Twitter in Brazil. And then they started to screw with Starlink, which is his big money maker. Starlink is, by the way, amazing, actually.
No, it really isn't.
They've got like 5,000 satellites surrounding the planet.
Yeah, they're low Earth decaying satellites that fall out of the sky on the regular. They have to keep adding satellites all the time. They are the toilet paper of satellites.
Right now. It's kind of amazing. But anyway.
Well, you know, I guess it's a great definition. Kind of amazing. Kind of.
Michael Tracy says, after weeks crusading against censorship in Brazil and proclaiming that Twitter would be the world's heroic defense.
Excuse me, that says X. It does not say Twitter. I'm just saying, Twitter is not the answer to most algebraic equations.
Defender of free speech, Elon Musk has apparently capitulated to every demand made by the Brazilian Supreme Court that he had previously decried as intolerable censorship.
Geez, it's almost like he had a meeting with Glenn Greenwald and they,
New York Times posted it. Elon Musk suddenly appears to be giving up. Nobody's really talking about this on Twitter. I wonder if it's being suppressed or nobody's really talking about it.
Gee, I don't know. It's his site, so you think obviously this guy said it. I don't know what site that's on. Is that on Twitter? Or is that a tweet? It says reposted. So obviously we're not re-Xing or retweeting anymore. So it says repost, but is that maybe they are talking about it? And then did the New York Times post their article? Oh, yeah.
Elon Musk suddenly appears to be giving up. After defying court orders in Brazil for 3 weeks, Mr. Musk's social network X, Twitter, has capitulated.
Oh my God, not capitulated. They capitulated? Hey, did you guys hear he capitulated? Son of a bitch. So sad.
In a court filing on Friday night, the company's lawyers said that Twitter had complied with orders from Brazil's Supreme Court in the hopes that the court would lift its block on Twitter.
It's nothing sacred anymore. Can we trust any of our heroes? Don't meet your heroes. That's what I have learned. And here I thought Elon Musk was a paragon of virtue. And it turns out he's a tarragon of virtue. He's just a sauce. It's so sad.
So it's just kind of sad that he can launch into...
It is. That's kind of sad. I mean, obviously, Starlink's kind of amazing, but this is kind of sad. Kinda.
Space, but he can't launch an uncensored social media site.
Oh, fuck me. Is that the joke that that Kurt wrote on the paper for you? Look at this shit. Read it again.
Twitter.
Look at it. He goes right to the fucking paper. Twitter, here's my joke that I have. Buy a teleprompter, you asshat. The Elgato one is cheap. It's like $300. You're a fucking millionaire.
So it's just kind of sad that he can launch into space, but he can't launch an uncensored social media site.
He can't launch into space. He can launch satellites into space, I think is what you meant, or a rocket into space, but he can't launch. And by the way, Twitter's already launched. The idea is that he can't keep it. He can keep satellites in orbit, but he can't keep his social media site from entering a decaying trajectory into the atmosphere. Fuck me.
What do you think X will be called?
What? Here's joke number 2.
When he leaves. X-Lax? Because
it's shit would be the thing. Is that the idea? Oh, God.
It's turning into shit anyway.
Right, yeah. Okay. Mm-hmm. Boom. Turning into? I don't know. I would get a laugh button if I was him. Just to fill the kind of vacuous, empty hole that is certainly not filled by the viewer laughing to themselves.
Here's the part that
his lady laughed, I guess.
That Michael had highlighted. Now,
here's the part that Michael had highlighted. Michael, I don't know who Michael is. Is that the guy who was with the other clip, or nah? Fuck me. Who cares?
X's lawyers said the company had done exactly what Mr. Musk vowed not to do: take down accounts that a Brazilian justice ordered removed because the judge said they threatened Brazil's democracy. How do you save democracy? Censorship.
Well, if they're not actual accounts in country, what if they're foreign accounts? Or are just all accounts sacred and free speech covers anything, even if they're fake accounts or bot accounts or fraudulent accounts or, AI accounts, right? So everything, denying a robot or a bot farm free speech is a denial of free speech, is the idea, even if they lie about who they are. I mean, I give a fuck about what's going on in Brazil in that regard. But you do realize not everybody on Shitter is an honest purveyor of their actual opinions.
X also complied with the justice's other demands, including paying fines. Where's he going to get the money for that? Where's Elon Musk going to get that kind of money? And
Yeah, I think that's a joke about him being rich.
naming a new formal representative in the country, the lawyer said.
The lawyers said this? So the lawyers said this. Did the lawyers say this? If the lawyers said it, then they must have said it, I guess.
They wanted a new formal representative in Brazil. Why?
Because they wanted to liaison with the government.
So they could have someone to throw in jail. That's why they...
And they needed someone formal. As they can't throw an informal person in jail.
They did that.
Okay.
All I'm going to say is all the people messing with...
Oh, fuck me. Here comes the other written joke. Oh, God. Why? Why do we have to...
Elon Musk, and if you're driving a Tesla, I'd think twice because...
Jesus Christ. Get it out. It's right there on the paper. Review the joke. Fuck me. If it's complicated to say, work on it.
When you're in an electric car, you're really just sitting in a giant pager, if you know what I'm talking about. You know what I'm talking about?
I think you're talking about Israel and their control of the pagers. I mean, look, I don't want to help. I don't know if I can stop myself from helping. But for the record, the cyber, you guys hear about the Cybertruck that he gave to the Chechen leader? That guy, here, I'll show you. That guy has accused, where is it? Here you go. Ramzan Kadyrov, had the leader of Russia's Chechen Republic, accused Elon Musk on Thursday of disabling a Tesla Cybertruck that he claimed he received from the billionaire last month. He's got 3 or 4 of them with guns mounted on them, fighting in Ukraine. And there's the guy right there, and that's the fucker. By the way, he's more than likely, this is AI because he's dead. He's had kidney problems and all kinds of shit, and his son is running most things, so they're just pretending he's still alive. But whatever, it's not a nice thing for Elon Musk to do. His expensive gift from the bottom of his heart, and then he remotely switches them off. I gotta say, I think the biggest concern might be that Elon Musk has control over every Tesla and every Tesla vehicle and can turn it off if he feels like it remotely.
Okay.
This is by the way, I don't know why you're basically sitting in a giant pager thing. So all the Teslas are just rolling bombs now.
Okay. This is from
Oh God.
New York Times. The abrupt.
By the way, I would like to remind you that according to Jimmy Dore, the New York Times is the mainstream media and they do nothing but lie. But he constantly cites them as his source for stories. How's that work? How do you do that? How do you, imagine if I was Jimmy Dore is an unfunny prick who's talking out of his ass most of the time, is spending a good portion of his time these days hawking gold, and is kind of becoming the dweeby ex-comedian version of Alex Jones. Like if I said that, but then I played a video of him and went, huh? Did you hear what he said there? Huh? I mean, can't argue with that, right? Wouldn't I kind of be an asshole if I did something like that? Wouldn't I be a lying piece of shit if I accused him of all those things and or I would argue properly described him of all those things, and then I cited him in other videos? Wouldn't that stick out as kind of peculiar? By the way, Rusty Trombone, same shit. Fucking even Alex Jones himself. Maybe that's what they're doing. Maybe they're just borrowing from his playbook.
About face from Elon Musk in Brazil appeared to be a defeat for the outspoken businessman. You think?
No, I don't think. Because the outspoken businessman might be the thing. Because he's still doing business there. Because more important to him than free speech is the money he can make in Brazil, the most populous country in South America. It's the businessman part you seem to be hung up on.
And his self-designed image as a warrior for free speech.
Right, self-designed image. That would also should be a giveaway.
Mr. Musk and his company had loudly and harshly criticized Brazil's Supreme Court for months, even publicly releasing some of its sealed orders, but neither had publicly mentioned their reversal by Saturday. So I guess Elon Musk isn't talking about it. I should go to his Twitter.
Oh, fuck me. He's reading another one. Look at this. So the idea is this is now the... Is this... I don't even watch fucking Jimmy's show. I don't have that kind of... I have an iron constitution, but I got better shit to do with my life. It's a thing... When you've got a son, there are meaningful things to do with your life. But is this what he does now? Is this... He just takes these little clips, Kurt writes a punchline for each, and Jimmy just... mangles them instead of being like just basically reads them poorly without any comic timing. Is that how the show goes now? Motherfucker.
Twitter feed and look. But I remember when he said
fuck. It's just you could feel it coming. It's just so terrible.
I remember when he said stuff like this. This was in August. He said the decision to close the Twitter office in Brazil was difficult. But if we had agreed to the Supreme Court's illegal secret censorship and private information handover demands, there was no way we could explain our actions without being ashamed. So apparently now he's ashamed. Or he's just not explaining his actions. Could you go to his Twitter feed and see if he's talked about this? Because they did it on Friday. So that has 73 million views, that tweet. Apparently he's ashamed, or maybe he's not ashamed because he's only ashamed if he explains it.
I don't know what that means.
And I can't tell. I don't think he's explained his actions.
Jesus Christ. Yeah, he only needs to explain his actions if you actually believe his bullshit. Real clear. Can I explain this? He's a liar. He's a flim-flam artist. He's a fake genius. He's a bullshitter, which is why he loves Trump so much, which is why Jimmy's been using his asshole for a bong for so long, because none of them are a good judge of character because they have none themselves. That's what's going on. He doesn't have to explain himself. I don't need him to explain himself because I don't ever expect him to live up to what he's saying because he's full of shit.
Wow.
Oh God, there's another joke written there, isn't there? Yeah, Dora does have a staff. He's the king of the Marxist millionaires. Actually, I think he's the prince of the Marxist, because isn't Hassan Abi the king of the Marxist millionaires? He's the richest one, right? He's the multi-millionaire. And Jimmy's just a multi-millionaire. Yeah, I think Hassan's in the tens of millions already. Yeah. But still a Marxist, don't get me wrong. You know, he's going to give it all away any day now. Any day now he's going to turn his house into a communal gathering space for like-minded people who want to share in the daily chores, and I'm fucking with you.
Here's what he said before. This was what he said in July.
Yeah, we know he's a liar. That's, again, it's almost like watching this dipshit's heart break if he had one.
The European Commission offered Twitter an illegal secret deal. If we quietly censored speech without telling anyone, they would not fine us. The other platforms accepted that deal. Twitter did not. Well, now they are accepting that deal in Brazil for at least. I'm sure they're I'm sure they're caving everywhere.
Yeah. Hey, honestly, I have no problem with you assuming that Elon Musk is full of shit. I mean, I guess whatever it takes to wake people up. Dead air. Dead air.
So.
Dead air.
They don't want you to have information.
That's what it is. Yeah, good point. They don't want. And the conclusion is, they don't want you to have any information. Who they is not a piece of information we have, whoever we might be. Now,
because when the establishment can't control the narrative,
the Brazilian establishment,
then they have to start disappearing people, which they'll do.
They do have to yes, that's what's happening. They're going to disappear people.
But it's a lot harder. So we're living in a world.
Why is it harder? If they can't tweet, you mean?
Wide authoritarian. We're living one big Soviet Union.
We are. Yeah, I mean, you say that like it's a bad thing. Aren't you pro-Soviet Union? I mean, maybe he's changed his mind now that he's got millions. You know, he used to be very pro-Soviet Union.
Everywhere now is China.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, you can't. You're right, Jimmy. You can't go anywhere in L.A. without a minder. Thank you, Jezebel. Yes, I have 5 minutes, and then I got to fuck off because we got the Geeks and Nerds for Harris call coming up. And it's going to be very exciting. I'm in the late part of hour 2. I think it's a 3-hour thing. Starts at 5 o'clock my time in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to jump over to that and get out of here. But I would just like to say, as someone who's spent a decent amount of time in China, Jimmy has no fucking idea what he's talking about at all.
Everywhere.
Yes, we're China everywhere. Yep, it's everywhere is China. Why? What's China like about where we are?
So, is somebody going to call Elon Musk a communist for doing this?
No, he's a capitalist. That would be because he's doing this because he wants to make money in these states is the point.
Is someone going to call him a communist? Because that's what they call communists. I don't think people understand what communism really is. They think of Stalin communism, and that's not. But anyway.
Okay. What side are you on, fuckwad?
This is authoritarian fascism.
Okay, good. All right, thank you. Don't call that communism. He's authoritarian fascism by the Brazilians, and he had to acquiesce. So he's being beaten with reeds, and he's acquiescing because he's got no choice.
And Elon Musk is going along with it. And it said, did you find any? He's not talking about it, right? They're not talking about it.
Weird.
Hey, Elon.
China is here, Mr. Burton. What the fuck does that mean? China is here? What? I see a guy, ran my truck over him, through him with light coming out of his mouth.
Musk's big secret? He's a fascist, authoritarian censorer.
Why is that a secret? How is that? Oh, I see. That's a secret because you can't admit you're a gullible fuck. That you believe in him. See, because he's not. I gotta say, it's not fraud if you can see it coming. You know what I mean? Like I'm. If you fell for the 3-card Monty, it's kind of your ass. You know what I mean? Like, I've never lost money playing 3-card Monty because I know it's fucking rigged.
That's his big secret.
It's not a secret. Everybody knows it except you, stupid.
I've seen statistics that said he's approved 80% of the censorship requests that he's gotten from governments.
And you've been sucking his balls for the last 5 years. Why?
So
Okay, I'm bored. All right, chat room. You guys are asking, and I got to go, so I'm going to tell you the story. So when I was 8 years old, I had a massive crush on Linda Carter. Brutal. Heart-wrenching. I had a picture of her on my wall that I wept at the bottom of. Like, I would look up and go like, one day, Lord, please let me be with her. I didn't even, like, kind of know. This is why I have no problem believing people are born gay, because I knew I was straight when I was 8, and I was like, whatever, I want her. I don't know what I'm going to do with her when I get her, but man, I want her around. Holy smokes. Anyway, so huge crush, massive 8-year-old crush on Linda Carter. And so we had a dial up, there were no cell phones back then. So and long distance cost money. And I came up with this plan. It was in August of 1978. And I was almost 9. And I came up with this plan. I'm going to call her and talk to her. And so I came up with this scheme that I basically I created a carrot. I said, I told people when I called, like, her agent and then the production company that was doing Wonder Woman and, all along, that I was her lawyer's son, and it was my birthday, and my dad said that she would wish me a happy birthday. And everybody was really nice. And they would pass it. They gave me it. I'm like, I think I called the wrong number, but I'm supposed to call it. My dad's at work, and it was supposed to be today. And and they would give me she's shooting today. Oh, okay. Is there a number for the production office? And I can call them. And they're like, oh yes, that's this number. So they gave me the number. I hang up, call the production office, and I call the production office. And I'm like, hi, my name's Hal, and my dad is Miss Carter's lawyer, and he said she promised she would wish me a happy birthday today, so I'm calling and it took me like 8 phone numbers over the course of like 7 hours, like waiting on hold and doing all this kind of shit. This is true. And then I got so close that she was basically, they were like, she's filming right now, but hang on and she'll come over and say happy birthday to you, right? If you just hang on a minute. And my parents came home, and I had to hang up the phone or I'd get busted, because it was a long distance phone call. It was probably like $100 worth of phone calls that I had made long distance in 1978 /79. It was 1979. And I was so close. And I had to hang up the phone or whatever. And I had written down all the phone numbers that I had to call on an index card. And then on the other side, I had the last 2 numbers. And so when my parents were like, who did you call? And I was like, I just called these numbers. Sort of lying, because all the numbers were on the card, but they only saw the front part of it. Needless to say, I did a lot of chores for the next year, trying to call Linda Carter, because I had a brutal crush on her. And yeah. So, true story from 8-year-old Hal, and I got to go and join the Geeks and Nerds for Harris, and it's at Linda Carter's actual webpage. Hold on one second. Let me see if I can get out of here, you silly thing. Here you go, this thing, and go to, let's see, Linda Carter, her own page. There it is. So her official page. This is it. And just hold on. And this is, I'm going to grab I'm copying and I'm pasting the link in so you guys can come over. Please, if you feel like contributing, or if you haven't yet, please consider contributing to the campaign via this, so that we're using Vote Forward, I think, to raise money. And that's how we judge how well this went, and also along with the calls and that kind of stuff. So it is starting in about 15 minutes. They're doing
Look for a confirmation email from the Vote Forward team. They just need to verify that you're not a bot, which may take 1 to 2 days. Okay, let's collect our supplies. You'll need a pen, ideally blue, and enough stamps and envelopes for each letter. Envelopes should be standard business size.
They're just like how to help reach out to voters and that kind of stuff, whatever. But anyways, it's at Linda Carter's official page. It's Linda Carter Official, and I will see you guys there in about an hour because it starts up in 15 minutes. Please join in, and it will be fantastic. And wait, 11:28, and they're
writing about a specific candidate or political party. I'm going to write, I vote because generations before me have fought so hard for the right to vote. I can't squander it now.
So yeah, you're writing to people to get them to vote and that kind of stuff is one of the things. Anyways, so fantastic. Oh, we broke the troll. I broke the troll early, I think, chat room. But either way, love you guys. Gotta go. Jumping off, getting ready. Yes, huge group in the chat today. And if you guys jump over there, please say Sparks Raid when you go over because I can't make you raid into the YouTube page. I can't direct you in there. But if you show up in there, throw them a Sparks Raid. That would be fantastic. Let them know you're there because of me, and it'll help immensely. I'm just saying. It's about 13K in there watching right now, and we've got near that number in here. We could double that number. I'm just saying, pop over there. Love you guys. See you in a little bit. And if you got the glow, you need the glow. You need the glow to grow. I gotta go make my scene so that I can do my thing. All right. Where's the button that allows me to stop and go do the thing? Let's see. There's a button here that says ending.
You are physically repulsive, intellectually retarded, vulgar, insensitive, selfish, stupid. You have no taste, a lousy sense of humor, and you smell.
Geez, you're real nice. If I didn't have puke breath, I'd kiss you.
So that's the kind of fight it's gonna be.
Replays in magnified fortune. Atmospheric filth. The diversity lottery. I know words, I have the best words. To be a stank singer. Our army manned the air. It ran the ramparts. It took over the airport. Made a pivotal, really. Despite these obstacles, Karen. Obama. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges. The Mueller report, I wish, covered the oranges. I hope they now go and take a look at the oranges. An anonymous, really an anonymous.
And God bless the United States.